Hey guys, so welcome back to another video, and in this one I'm just going to say the things that Assassin's Creed Unity actually got right. Now, I realised that I was a bit unfair on my review of Unity. I looked back and I was shockingly harsh. I guess I was angry, I expected more, but the thing is, Unity isn't a bad game, so we're going to get into the good points of Assassin's Creed Unity, the things that the game got right in my opinion. So let's do it. Okay, first thing. The world depth. I mean, if you go into the streets of Paris, the world is so deep, so fresh. People are everywhere looking at you and doing stuff, because that makes sense. And there are these street events that you can do, and they are so fun and time consuming and rewarding come the end as well. There are also challenges and etc. There are the quests, the layers, and so forth. Those things make this so fun to explore. Paris has to be one of the most fun Assassin's Creed worlds to explore, purely because there's so much to see and do, and so many chests that you can now open all of them. That is brilliant. That's why I like this game. I like that for that reason. And I reckon that in Assassin's Creed Victory they'll hold this stuff, because hopefully they will, because these are the things that I think they did right, and this is one of the main things that they did right, because it was just so well executed, and the world was so immersive, and there's so many things to kill, so many things to stab, so many ways to earn money, and so many co-op missions and so forth. There's so much to do that it really does make the game feel like more than just a story-based game. And it definitely feels less linear than the Assassin's Creed games have felt in the past. So, yeah, that's sort of why I like the world of Unity, because it's just so fresh and it's so interesting and there's so much to do. The outfits might be a little bit off, but you know, it is fun and there is fun stuff, and I enjoyed exploring Paris in Unity. So next up we have the customization. Now, most people criticise this and say everything looks ridiculous, which it does, but that's the fun bit, because the interesting stuff is ridiculous, and it's very much so interesting. You can make your character look like whatever you want it to look like. You can make Arnie look like a sexy man or a sexy assassin, or you can make him look like a complete and utter retard and go around saving people from extremists and so forth. Either way, you get the satisfaction of the game that you want in the end, because you can create your own assassin, which people have been asking for a while. And if Ubisoft keep this idea and try to add it in Victory, they might actually get somewhere with it. I don't know. They might be getting somewhere better than the way they did with Unity. I mean, it wasn't the best in Unity, but the concept is what got me. The concept is striking, and that's why I think that the customization in Unity is good. So, next up we have the progression systems. Now, that means leveling and etc. The suit stuff and it, you know, so on and so forth. You get the picture. It's just leveling, really. The leveling was fun. Getting to Legend was what drove me to play Assassin's Creed Unity for as long as I have been doing above the world. The world is interesting, and that's why I still play it. But the fact that it had a leveling system made everything you do feel... well, it makes everything you do feel so rewarding in the end, and it made everything for me feel rewarding. All the kills, all the random guards I've slaughtered, all the lifts I've pointlessly jumped up, and the people I've randomly killed with my Phantom Blade and the ammo I've randomly wasted. It doesn't feel like I'm just doing it for a rank on a leaderboard anymore. It feels actually like it's something worth investing time into doing, because it's something that looks good when you are showing off to your friends when playing the game, and especially with online features, that's something you like to brag. I know everyone likes to brag, so having this makes it feel easier to brag. It's like Halo all over again. I just like the idea of having a leveling system, because I like leveling because it's fun. So yeah, that's essentially it. That's exactly why I like the leveling systems. Now, the next thing everyone criticises, but I like, it's the challenging combat. Now, the combat was challenging and it felt rewarding with that levelling system. I don't know which it was. I believe the levelling systems made the combat feel so challenging, but I enjoyed the challenge and I rose up to it. You can now officially call me a try-hard. I killed about 20 guys in a catacomb and still survived. I used only 5 medicine vials, I think, I don't know, but it was a long fight and I won, so that makes it feel so challenging. The challenge makes you feel so like you've accomplished something after you kill them, instead of unrealistically killing leagues and leagues and leagues of guards. You can just go and kill 20 and you feel like a badass, and that's the point of the challenging combat. It's meant to make you feel better for being this badass Bamfy assassin, rather than just some guy behind a keyboard or a controller and etc. It makes everything feel, it makes it feel rewarding as well. It makes the deaths feel rewarding. They're so satisfying at times. That's why it just gives you that satisfaction when you've completed a challenging objective. Or just random thing. It makes it so challenging, and that's why I like the combat, because it's challenging. Now, the next thing is the interiors, because they're so seamless and you can just go in without a loading screen. You can go across, you can jump from window to window, do a roll, then keep running. It's pretty awesome. Makes you feel like a badass assassin, and it was one of the main selling points of the game for me, really. And that's why I found it so... It was definitely... What I'm trying to say is it was definitely not disappointing. It wasn't like most of the game which disappointed us. I mean, being a fan of Assassin's Creed, I know I expect more, but the interiors make me so happy because they were executed so damn well, and it was so fun to jump through somebody's window, say, "Hello, Governor," jump out the window and watch them stare at you in disbelief. Well, they just ignored you most of the time, but when they saw you and noticed you, they're like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And you can just go, "Ha ha ha, I've stolen your house." Then you can jump out the window and they'll be like, "What the hell? What the hell was that?" And that's why I like that. It had that feeling, the thing that I had at the E3 demos when I was watching them. I was like, wow. Next up is the stealth, because the stealth is challenging, but it's easy at the same time. It's not broken. It works. May have taken 6 million lines of code to get the stealth button to work, but it did work eventually. The crouch button anyway. But it's so fun because it feels rewarding, it feels like an interesting way to do things, and you make yourself feel like this assassin, and it makes it feel all immersive when you're not even seen. You kind of feel like a badass assassin jumping through a window and killing people. That is fun, especially when you're not seen, so double assassinations and so forth, jumping off buildings and into windows and stabbing people before you're seen, and then getting detected randomly and having to restart if you want to do that objective that way. And choosing your playstyle. The stealth allowed the stealth bit to be, the stealth mechanics allowed stealth to be possible, which hasn't been possible in Assassin's Creed games before, and it definitely hasn't been particularly easy. So I found the stealth quite fun, and I definitely found it to be a worthy approach to your objective. Next up, we do have the crowds. Now, people say it was pointless, and yes, I agree, it was pointless. That's what made it great, because you would see massive crowds in the street around this time, because they were all angry. I know the crowds were pointless and etc., but it made it feel so immersive. Having loads of people on the screen at the same time made the game feel epic. It made you feel like you were actually in the world, even though the outfits were a bit ahead of the time. It does actually feel like you are inside Paris, revolutionary Paris, late 18th century. And that's what makes it feel great, because you can just look around, the ridiculous crowds, the pointless people, the people worth killing, and the guards, and the opportunities that a massive crowd brings for an assassin. And that's what made the crowds so interesting, because they just had so many opportunities to get into places, because there was always moving, they were cheering, they were watching its executions. You could pass through places easy if you just go into a crowd and blend. The crowds really did add in a lot of opportunities for you as an assassin. Alright, so next up we have the good concept. Now this is the final point I have to make, because the game had a great concept about it. I don't know what it was, but it was an amazing concept in the game, and that made it interesting. It was a different system, a new engine, and it wasn't an entire flop, it was just a concept for a better game, which could be Victory for all we know. Ubisoft have acknowledged their mistakes. Maybe Victory will be better, maybe it'll be worse, but hopefully the engine gets better. The lockpicking was better than AC3's, the parkour is definitely something to behold, the combat is challenging and interesting, and you actually feel like an assassin, especially with that customization and the stealth mechanics as well. That makes it all so interesting and so much fun. Also, the leveling system needs to stay. The microtransactions I'm not so sure about, but they were definitely tolerable. Again, tolerable even. They were tolerable in the game. So, yeah, that's the thing. I think that the concept is good, and that's what makes Assassin's Creed Unity so fun. Even though it may have been a flop, it may not be worth the time anymore. but it was definitely something that you could invest at least 24 hours into, if not more. I invested about 150 into it, and it was definitely worth it for me because it made me feel like I was immersed in a game. It was definitely immersive. The pop-ins might make it a little bit non-immersive, but you are in a machine after all, and I just think that the game needs more credit than it gets, because it is definitely not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually quite good, but it is not the best Assassin's Creed has seen still. However, it does have good points, it does have bad points, and I'm sorry if Ubisoft are seeing this. I'm sorry that I slagged off the game so much back in November, or December even. I was a bit annoyed, but it turns out that the game is a lot better than I said it was, even though I would say it is definitely needing improvements. Now, comment down below what you think about the game. Tell me what you found was good, what was bad, what needs improvements, what doesn't need improvements. I would love to know what you guys think, but this is just all my opinion. Please don't hate, that would just really suck. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your friends about this channel. Also, I will see you on the next one, so thanks for watching guys. See ya!